motherfucker just took my money.
It's like a bunch of little puzzle pieces that when you put it all together, you step back, look at the picture, and you go, oh man, women are miserable. They're not doing well. And yet guys are kind of doing okay. Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. You know, as a content creator, it's always nice when I come across a story and I said, hey, there's a lot to talk about here. And then we dive into a topic and then we call it a day, have our laugh and move on. I don't have like one particular story to talk about today, but I have a bunch of videos that I'm going to kind of smash into two concepts. Instead of doing this in two videos today, I'll just do it in one, again, because it doesn't have one specific theme. Number one, women are having the worst time in the world right now. They're really suffering. Feminism is ruining women. And then red pill content and men's content is building men. And so what's happening is marriage rates are absolutely collapsing. Young men are becoming wise to what's going on because, feminism always existed, let's face it. But between feminism and social media showing women's worst traits and topics and them being picky and needy and entitled and all of that, with that going viral, and then you have so many men's content creators out there and the movies and things like that showing men in a bad light, it's making this big collective, trove of men that realize, something, we're going to have to do our own thing. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And then this is another video I was going to do. It's just how are women like this? But I have a couple of different examples that we're going to play, but I'm going to do this all in one video tonight. So I won't do it in two videos. So I'm going to start here. This is definitely falls under the how are women like this for real? Because I actually have two videos like that. And this is from a woman who, let me see if I can turn on dark mode here. There we go. Give your eyes a little bit of a rest. A woman who got boyfriend Kevin's name tattooed on forehead claims it's not a prank. Yes, it's real. Now, there's music in this, so obviously I can't play it all the way through. Let me see if I can jump past the music part. But here you've got a 27-year-old gal. She's, interesting looking. I wouldn't say she's conventionally, beautiful or anything like that. But she got her boyfriend's name tattooed all the way across her forehead. Now, let's say that this Kevin really loves her and he plans to be with her for the rest of her life. She's still got a dude's name written across her forehead.
Oh my God, I love it. I don't think it's such a big deal. Like for someone, I've got so many tattoos. Like I don't think it's such a big deal, but.
And then I guess the rest of it is, some people are saying this is a prank, but she's a YouTuber, so all you're going to have to do is go, she's a TikToker. So all you're going to do is go to her page and see. Women are, and this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say women are not doing so well. They're mentally not well. They've gone so crazy for attention and validation on social media. And I know I do a lot of these videos talking about how crazy women have gone online, but I really think it's going to take women out. And what I mean is their happiness. I have it here in a link. That's the actual graph I had pulled up. I don't need that. Let me pull up the link that I have here. Like I said, I have a bunch of things all bookmarked to talk about here. I know somewhere I have a CNN story. More than 1 in 6 adults have the deep sadness, and as rates rise to record levels in the U.S. And the one segment I wanted to read is right here. Lifetime rates are significantly higher in women, with rates rising twice as fast as in men. More than a third of women said they've been diagnosed with the deep sadness at some point in their life, compared with about a fifth of men. And I've pulled up these graphs before. And what it is that there's about 20% of men that are, they struggle with, issues with happiness and being sad and overwhelmed and things like that. That's about 20% of men. But 33% of women, almost twice as many, women are struggling. And it's increasing. And what's so interesting about this is that, when you go back to you go back to the feminism and all that other stuff. Women are being promoted more than ever in college, in work, in the movies as strong, brave, nothing can go wrong, as the smart ones in commercials. They're given job opportunities at higher rates than ever, and yet they're becoming worse and worse over time. The truth is that they're pushing themselves in an unnatural direction. Many times I've said that women are like adult children, and that they're going to do whatever they want to do, and they don't think about the ramifications of their actions. And many times they're not punished for doing horrible or crazy or weird things. And so with a kid, if you look at young people growing up, the ones that seem to struggle the most, whether it be with the law or with society or with boundaries or with relationships or just in general, are the ones that never had ground rules as they were growing up. I had a lot of ground rules as I was a young man growing up. I had a lot of rules. I had to mow the lawn before I could go play with friends, like starting at the age of 12, and that continued on until I left for the military. There were certain things I was not allowed to do or say. I couldn't go out as late as a lot of my friends, and so I thought it was very unfair. But later in life, me having to get up early and do chores and me not being able to go out as late as other friends, it taught me some discipline. And in reality, in many ways, I turned out maybe better than a lot of my friends that didn't have any ground rules or anything imposed on them. They kind of went buck wild and got in trouble and later on had struggles. Women are turning out to be the same thing. They're going crazy with everything, whether it's social media or just these are stories I can't even read over here on YouTube. Like this, you guys can read the headline here, and these I'm going to be talking about on Locals afterwards. But the educators that have gone absolutely crazy, I'm going to talk about that at the end. But women are just they're not doing okay, and so they're going to the point now where they're tattooing. They're doing anything for attention. And so what's happened with the young men? This is from MSNBC, 8 insights from men who chose to abandon dating. This is from just a week ago. Now, I'm not going to go heavy and hard into all these articles because I do a ton of them like it. But young men, and older men, but young men are just choosing not to participate. You've got the lonely paradox, where men are realizing that a lot of times they're more lonely in a relationship than out of a relationship because they're not understood by the woman in their life, or she misbehaves. And if you're married to her, you can't get away. You can't escape because now you lose half your assets. Dating app problems. They say dating app dilemmas where, again, even if you're a above average guy, you're not given an opportunity. Real life meetings where men are not doing well walking up and talking to women in the real world because oftentimes they're shamed or they're told they're creepers or whatever. They're finding that guys are finding liberty and freedom very fun. Again, more challenging in dating. It's always changing. Men finding it overwhelming, like it's a part-time job. Unreciprocated interest, which means, obviously guys being friend-zoned. Finding contentment and wisdom of not looking for love, just understanding. And this is really the red pill philosophy. Understanding, hey, I'm not going to make this a big part of my life. If I happen to meet somebody, great. If I don't, who cares? And, they're showing that, hey, this is not turning out so great. This is just written a short time ago as well. And this is written by a gal, Helen Tarver. Getting lonely, waiting for the millennial man to propose. Marriage in the U.S. is on the decline. Countless women feel as though their future is on hold because their partner won't make it official. But why? But we know why. The laws haven't changed. They're still overwhelmingly detrimental to men, even though women now in many cases are doing better than men. And they go down through kind of what, a dozen of what my videos have been on about young men just realizing this is not like women cheat too much. They lie too much. They're not traditional enough. They don't see me as an equal or the head of the household. They want to be the girl boss. And guys are just like, I'm not having this. I'm out. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be trapped into this. This is the video that actually kind of made me decide to do this. And how are women like this for real? This is the double standards of women now. You know, when you look back at maybe women that I was dating when I was 20, they were kind of, I guess I would say, normal. There was no such thing as the sugar sites where young women would date older men for a paycheck, because we called that being a professional. You know, but just because they've relabeled it and now women will do it instead of just one time with one guy for one set of dollars, now women are doing it for multiple months for money with one dude. You're still a professional. Like, you're still taking money for dating and hooking up with a dude. So these young women just, they're like, oh, well, this is acceptable. This is fine. And I'm not going to, like, if this is the way the world's going to go, like, I'm not going to crap on it, because this gives many guys that are in their 40s and 50s and whatever, if they have a little bit of money, it gives them access to, 25-year-old women. So, and it's not the men that are pushing this, it's the women that are pushing this now. That's the crazy part. I want you to listen to the double standard of this gal talking about older men dating younger women, because come to find out, about 20% or 30% of women in their 20s are dating guys that are 30s, 40s, and even 50s. Why? Because those men have resources. Turns out those men are more masculine and more, driven than many of the young men in the 20s. And again, I'm not talking about you gentlemen per se, but if you look at a lot of the guys in their 20s right now, they're rather effeminate. They don't know how to fix anything or do anything. They're not headstrong. They're not, over the top stoic or masculine, and women are still drawn to that. So these women are dating older men, which is why a lot of young guys are struggling right now to even find somebody to date, because you got women like this. Listen to this woman's opinion on what it's like and date an older man dating a younger woman.
How would you feel about a 40-year-old guy dating a 19-year-old chick?
I think it's wrong. No. I think the 40-year-old should accept responsibility and understand that that is completely not okay. And it's not, she's a full-grown adult, but I don't think it's okay. No, I don't.
But it's okay for a woman to sell herself on OnlyFans at 18 and get railed on camera for money, but not enter a consensual relationship.
So this is where I just kind of lean on my faith. Sorry, hot take, but my faith, no, I don't think it's ever worth putting yourself out there to the internet. I do not believe in that, but that's a personal thing. You do you, make your money.
Okay, so let's pause it here for a second. So here you've got a young lady that says, hey, you know something? I don't agree with dating an older gentleman, and I don't agree, I'm not really on board with women having the Only Fools accounts and getting railed and getting money for it on video, whether it's with a younger or older guy. You might even say she has a conservative view on this. So if the interview ended here, you'd say, okay, I think she's got a rational take. She sounds kind of conservative. Let's continue on, shall we?
But no, I think they're both wrong.
I would like to chime in and just let y'all know I made more money from my sugar daddy than I did from my full-time job that I have a college degree for.
Okay, so her friend jumps in and says, I'm making more money as a professional than I am from my college degree. Who's this a win for? She's peace out. She's excited about this. She basically is saying, I am a young woman who is a professional, and I'm making more money hooking up with an older dude. And so now we have both ladies' takes. She says, I don't agree with this. She says, I'm making more money dating a older guy with some money, and he's my sponsor, shall we say. And this other girl goes, oh, okay, well, now we have the two takes on what these women think for dating. But, oh, wait, there's just one more surprise.
Job that I have a college degree for.
Oh, respectfully. No, same. No, me as well.
Wait a minute. She said to me, wait, no, same, me as well. What does she mean by that?
No, same. No, me as well. Yeah, absolutely. So So I did the same thing, but I will say that my experience as a 24-year-old having a sugar daddy and a 19-year-old having a sugar daddy were very, very different.
So she did the same thing. She's saying that a 40-year-old shouldn't date a young person at 19, but it's okay if that 40-year-old is paying money to hook up and date a 24-year-old because the experience is much different, even though they're both adults. That is her logic.
And I think that I made better decisions as a 24-year-old than I did as a 19-year-old.
So her better decision was actually sleeping with somebody for money, apparently. This is why I say women are not okay. They're just not. She rationalizes, both these young women are rationalizing their decisions to hook up with dudes for money. That's one of the oldest professions in the world. And these are college educated women that she said she went to college, and she makes more money doing that than with her college degree. Is that winning for women? Is that women really getting ahead in life? Or is that kind of what's happening here? That feminism went so full circle. This is really almost the way, let me see if I have this. Do I have this set up? Okay. It's gone full circle now. So what happened is it was women can do whatever they want. They can go work. They can live their own lives. They don't have to be under the boot of a man in the house. So instead what they do is they decide, hey, we're going to be under the boot of a man or a woman at a job. And that's going to how we're going to pay our bill. Then they went a little bit further and they said, you know something, if I'm not going to be a mom or a wife, I want as much money as possible to do whatever I want. And then the more money I make, the less I have to work. And so I'll have more free time to do whatever I want. So they move the little bit further around the circle to where they say, you know what, all I have to do is basically sleep with a guy. And if I sleep with that guy, he pays for all my bills and he pays for my apartment and he pays for everything I need. And I can do almost everything I want to. Now, a little bit further in the circle, I only sleep with one guy and he pays all that money. And what's the next step in the circle? You're a stay-at-home wife. A stay-at-home mom. Really, that's the next step. Think about it. Because then she says, okay, well, if I sleep with this one guy and he's paying all my bills and he's putting a roof over my head, and I guess I might as well just stay with him for long term and let's make this a permanent arrangement. I really like this. At that point, she's almost a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mom. The only difference is she can still go out and party and club, and if she wants to get 2 or 3 quote-unquote sponsors, 2 or 3 dudes that she wants to be with, then she can make 2 or 3 times as much money. Do you think women are doing well with that? Do you think they're happy? Of course not. And what's happening is men are seeing this happen, and that's why just in the last, 3 or 4 years here, marriage went from, here we were holding steady at 7%. Just in 2 or 3 years, it went down 2 more percent to only 5 out of 1,000 people are married, instead of where it was just a couple years ago, which is 7 out of 1,000. Now, that's still not high numbers. You go back to the 90s when I was, in my 20s, when I actually did get married the first time. That was a mistake. But about 10 out of 1,000 was the marriage rate. So, you can see how quickly it is quickly falling off. And why is it falling off so quickly? Because what the women are doing is the women are turning into crazies. That they're finding out that they really don't bring anything to the table. They are so desperate for attention and love and adoration by strangers and anybody out there, that they put out crazy content. And really, it's like I said in the video I did, where it's like women are the leading actresses in their own reality TV show. This is a video that was going around viral as well. And this is a woman I'm just going to play it through. It's about 35 seconds. She says, my husband's upset with me for ordering DoorDash 3 times a day. I'm going to play this through because there's something very telling that is interesting about this particular video.
My husband says he's upset with me because, in his words, sweetie, you need to stop spending so much money on DoorDash. Ordering it 3 times a day is not appropriate, and we need to start living within our means. Honey, it sounds like you have an income problem, not that I have a spending problem. Start earning more money and we won't have these issues. So I took his credit card that we share, and I booked a vacation for my daughter Richard and I. We're staying in a hotel tonight, and I hope he enjoys that I charged $8,000 to his credit card. Make more money, darling.
Now this went viral, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, what is going on with women?" But it's actually worse than you think. The satire, ironic boredom, and Drake-fueled mystery of podcaster Bobby Althoff explained, and this is her. This is a woman that does skits online on Instagram and TikTok, and I guess she does YouTube interviews. She's kind of doing like the Zach Galifianakis shtick, where she kind of acts like disinterested and is mildly insulting. She didn't bring anything new to the genre, but she's doing this as well. So it's so crazy now that people are getting attention for being horrible people that now people are actually purposefully acting awful on videos so that they go viral, so they get attention. Does that make any sense? So here you've got a woman who might be perfectly normal, and she might even be, I don't know, a good mom or a good wife, but she's acting bad because that stuff goes viral. But here's the thing. Almost everybody that retweeted this and shared this post didn't realize that she was actually acting and that she was doing a bit and that it was being shared and it went viral. And a lot of young men are seeing this, and like we have on the graph here, this falls into this range. It's not even, she's not even real. But because this kind of stuff goes viral, 2 things happen. Number 1, men see this and they don't realize that she's doing a bit, and they go, oh my God, women have gone crazy. And number 2, young women see this and they're like, you tell them, sister. Like, that's the way I want it. I want to be able to tell my man to make more money, and I want to be able to order DoorDash 3 times a day and go be able to spend $8,000 or whatever on a credit card and go do. I want to be free too. And ironically, so what she's doing in this video is twofold. It's scaring men away from women, because let's face it, if you think this is real, which a lot of them may or may not be real, it is so hard to tell anymore. And so what that does is men are just like, well, I'm going to assume it's real because I know there are women out there like this. And so this scares men away from dating. And then on top of that, young women see this and they're like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of in on this. And so they become more entitled. And what happens? Men move away. And in the meantime, these women are thinking, well, if she can get something like this, and I should be able to get something like this. If she says she can date all the 6-foot-tall men and she can get all the, the guys that are worth all this money, and if she can land them, I can too. The difference is that other girl only lands them for a night or a week, but these other girls think they can land them forever. So what's happening, ironically, and these last 2 stories I'm gonna only do on locals because there's a lot of words and stuff that I can't say over here on YouTube. So please join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. Just being there as a member is free. You just need to add an email. But if you become a supporter, you get the extra content and live streams. You can talk on the forums and everything else, and you can get the craziest parts of my videos that I can't talk about over here. But, women have gotten to the point now where they're in a race to the bottom. They're unhappy. They're miserable. They're not getting what they want because they've told they should get everything. And in the meantime, what's happening to men, and that's why I keep pulling up this graph, What's happening to men is men are saying, okay, we're not told that we deserve everything. We're not told that we're going to live the best life. What's happening is men are being told, you're nothing, you're awful, you're worthless, you don't deserve a woman, you're going to be forever alone, just deal with it. And so, that's going to bum out a lot of guys. But a lot of guys are also finding content that tells them, hey, you know what? It's okay that the world's like this. Don't lose any sleep over it. You're in the same basket with millions of other men. So what do you do instead? Find hobbies, find friends, find activities, find people you want to spend time with. Get a pet, earn money, find a way to kind of break out of the expectations or out of the matrix, as Andrew Tate puts it. To kind of break out and do your own thing. That's very motivational. Men are starting at a low and they're being told, hey, you know what? Don't worry about all this outside influence. Don't worry about this craziness. Better yourself, and here's how you can still find happiness. And so men, I think, are going to continually do better, even though maybe the media and social media and the movies and, jobs not hiring men that are coming out of college, and they're only hiring women and minorities and whatever. I think a lot of those guys are going to say, like, I'm going to be okay with this. Like, I'll find my way through because I'm not doing this alone. I'm finding my way out. But women, on the other hand, are seeing all these women, and what these women do is they put on skits and they put on these videos, and they're on social media telling everybody, I'm living my best life. I'm happy, and I'm making bank, and I'm doing my Only Fools content, and everything's going great for me, but they're lying. And so when that woman turns off her TikTok or turns off her camera, and she's like, man, I wish that were true. But she's lying. Why is she lying? Because she gets the likes and she gets the love on social media, but it's fake love and it's fake likes because she's lying. And so she knows all the love and the adoration and the, oh, you're awesome and go get 'em, girl. She knows that's a lie too. So it's very hollow and it's very empty. So the woman putting out the content is not happy. And then you look at the other women that are seeing that content and they're not happy either. And so what do? They feel bummed out. So they decide, I'm going to put out content that shows that I'm living my best life too. There was actually a study that was done, and it had to do with Instagram and many other things. But what it really boiled down to is that the women that were posting on Instagram were not happy. They were always showing that they had a better life than they had. And other women saw that, and they felt bad about their lives. Even though the woman that also made the content was in many ways lying because she was editing her photos or editing the video to make herself look slimmer or better. It's all fake. It's all fake unhappiness, selling it to everybody else like it's happiness. As a matter of fact, for you guys on Locals, I'm going to put a video at the end of my video. I'm going to tie in a video that I found. I'm going to put that on the end of the video if I can find it. That kind of shows what we're in as far as society. I think you guys will actually appreciate it. For you guys over here at YouTube, get over to Locals. I'm going to continue on over there. We got some more interesting, crazy stuff to talk about, and we'll see you in the next one.